are now rocking with the best. Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to the fighter's voice.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast radio show. We got a great show for you this evening. You know what? We're going to be talking about, of course, the Mayweather fight, or if you want to call it a fight, an exhibition or a money grab, whatever it is you want to call it, we can just call it something. We're also going to talk about Shakur Stevenson back in the ring this Saturday. In many eyes, he's pound for pound, but is he really? I mean, we want to talk about the opposition, and also we want to talk about the highlights of his career. And we want to touch a little bit about Showtime, man. I mean, they signed the guy who only has 3 professional fights as a YouTuber. I want to talk about that because you know what? We haven't talked about that. We've talked about Logan Paul, but I want to talk about Jake Paul, and I want to talk about his contract and how real fighters. When I say real fighters, I'm talking about the ones who paved the way, the ones who did the weight cutting, the ones who did the sacrifice all the way from the amateurs to the pros. But, you know, enough said, because I want to introduce our guest, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this guy, he's been described to me as a big cat, but you can call him, I mean, just the truck, man, or you know, I may have even gotten that wrong. I mean, I've heard his nickname is One Punch, but ladies and gentlemen, with a record of 5-0, the man is undefeated. DaCarree Scott, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fighter's Voice, my man.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Talk to us about the nicknames. I want to make sure I get it right. I don't want to chop it up. I know I was kind of off the edge a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, a long time ago, they called me One Shot. I used to, you know, just throw one shots and they fall. But then Mac Truck kind of is, my coach gave me that and it stuck. And Mac Truck, that was it, man. It's been with me for a couple of years now. So run everybody over. And
my research team, they kind of reached out a little bit and they remember you from the Olympics. I'm sure you know who Richard Torres Jr. is.
Yeah, I know Richard.
And they were just saying, man, this guy's like a big cat. I mean, he's very agile. Some have called you the next Andy Ruiz. And that's a good thing. I mean, he's heavyweight champion of the world because you can't base a fighter on the way he looks. I mean, he can be chiseled as you know what, and not have the power and the tenacity and the heart that you got, Mr. Scott.
Right.
Well, you know what? Talk to us about your career, man. I mean, first of all, how old are you, my man?
I'm 22.
My gosh, you're just a puppy, man. Yeah. You're just a little baby.
22 years old.
22 years old, man. Why the sport of boxing? I'm sure you played some football. I'm sure you used to chase quarterbacks for a living.
Yeah, I played football, basketball. I played just about everything when I was younger, but boxing kind of, it stuck out more. It was more of a passion. I fell in love with it.
When did you really fall in love with it? When you realized that you got a gift in that right hand?
I want to say 14.
14 years old, knocking out men, 14. I bet.
Yeah, I've been heavy since I was 14. So I was always a heavyweight. So I was sparring grown men as a heavyweight. So I was stopping grown men. It kind of felt good. So I just kept doing it.
So how tall are you, man? What's your height? Oh, you kind of went down the volume.
I'm 5'10".
Oh, okay, 5'10". Okay, 5'10". Then you're real compact like a Mack truck. Now I get it where the Mack truck's coming from.
Yeah, 5'10".
You know, so for a while, were you flipping sports? Were you also playing football and also boxing? Or when you decided when did you decide to just give boxing 100% and say, you know what, I'm gonna leave the quarterbacks alone for a little while?
When I was 14, I took boxing serious. I was starting to do. See, I started when I was 9, but I was still playing basketball. I was still doing everything else. It was just something to do during off seasons and during breaks of other sports. And then when I turned 14, I want to take it serious. I quit everything else.
What made you want to step in the ring? What made you say to yourself, you know what, I want to put the gloves on and try this?
Playing football, you know, I was a defensive end and lineman. Like I ain't getting no shine. And so I was like, I want to shine. And so boxing I'm the only person in there. And I was beating grown men. I was sparring grown men who were amateurs and pros, and I was beating them. I was beating them up, and so it felt good. And I was just like, "This is what I want to do." And ever since then, I stuck with it.
You know, some parents frown on that. What did you do to convince mom and dad, hey, drop me off at the boxing gym?
My mom, she used to box. Like she was doing a little boxing. Yeah, she used to do it. She never competed, but she used to be in the gym sparring, and she was doing it. She was trying to, but then she just, she added other stuff going on. So my mom was doing
Well,
this.
hey, well, I mean, you don't. I mean, she was probably not in the circuit, but believe me, she competed in that gym.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no one just shows up and just trains. No, they're trying to get theirs.
Yeah.
Growing up, what fighter motivated you? What fighter did you look at and say, you know what, I like what he's doing?
Um, I'll have to say Mike Tyson and Floyd. Yeah, not Floyd Mayweather. He's kind of been like he was like our Ali for us, for my generation. So
Yeah,
Floyd, he kind of kept your eye on it. So I'll say Floyd and Mike Tyson. Everybody loves Mike Tyson.
Oh, everybody's. I mean,
yeah,
we still love Mike Tyson
to this day.
Exactly. Speaking of Mike Tyson, what was your whole take once you found out he was coming back for an exhibition against another icon, Roy Jones?
Oh yeah, Roy Jones. Actually, I sparred Roy Jones getting ready for his fight. I got to spar him, and as everybody think, I thought Mike Tyson was doing bad, but when I sparred Roy and his coach said, "Nah, really go, like put it on," I was like, "Okay," and I did. And Roy, he stood there, fought back. I said, "Oh, it's Mike Tyson. He got a fight on his hands. It ain't finna be no walkover." And Roy did exactly what I thought. Like he boxing. That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, you don't want to stand in front of that man with that power. And Roy did show some great footwork and kind of threw Mike off a little bit with his speed, and he still had his mobility.
Yeah. Still, he was still. When I sparred him, I said, "Oh yeah, he still got it. Like he's still fast. Like he." Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, I was. And after I sparred him, I went for Roy, and I did. I wanted Roy to win, but it wasn't. I went for Roy after I sparred him.
And I go in and out of my questions because I don't want to talk about just your boxing schedule. I want the viewers, the public, and the fans and the followers to know a little bit about you. On the age of 14 and a sparring partner for Roy Jones, prepping him for that Mike Tyson exhibition. Yeah. Now I want to go back to your sport. Talk to us about your last fight.
My last fight, except in what was it, April? Yeah, my last fight in April. I was supposed to fight another guy, but he pulled out the fight because he didn't want to take a COVID test. So after that fight, I had my promoter and them, they found me another opponent, and I just did what I was supposed to do. It's just knock him out. That's what that's my goal.
How long did it go?
First round, probably I went like a minute 40. I think.
Okay, no filling out process, taking care of business, right?
Yeah, take care of business.
Hey, you know what? I want to give you a promoter a shout out. Who's your promotion team, man?
Oh, Greg Cohen. That's my promoter. Yeah, Greg Cohen promotion.
How can we get a hold of him? How can we follow him? Is he on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube?
Yeah, he's on. Yeah, they're on Instagram,
Facebook,
like Greg Cohen Promotions. Yeah, I know they're on Instagram, Greg Cohen Promotions, and he's a good dude. Like I have no problem. He's a good dude. I like him.
Okay, let's talk about that. How did you make that connection? When did he see you, or did you seek him, or did he probably say to himself, "Man, there's this young kid putting guys to sleep. I want a piece of him"?
Yeah, it was. I want to say about a year ago. He reached out, and at the time, I probably was like 2-0. He reached out, and me and my coach, we thought about it, and we just, I was like, "Nah, we're gonna see what I can do independent." And that's how. So he been reaching out for like a year, man. About a year. They
he sees something in you.
Yeah, he saw something in me. Yeah.
Let's talk about your footwork, man. Where do you get that footwork from, man? Because I'm hearing that you're just very agile, like a cat.
Yeah, I do a lot of work. I've been working on it. It didn't come natural. It's something I had to work on, and I'm still working on right as of today. But I jump rope and do a lot of leg work and to make sure I can stay moving. That's how I work for it. I work for it. I had to keep working for it, and I'm still working for it.
What was your first professional fight like? And what was the ring walk like going in, knowing that, hey, no headgear, smaller gloves, it's for all the marbles?
Yeah, man, it was, to be honest with you, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous. I was nervous the night before. I wasn't nervous. It was more of a just like, I'll be watching on TV and it's like, it's my time. And so I wanted to soak it all in, man. And we did a good job, man. Just my team, I remember like just how my team, how we put that work in, and everybody, my whole gym and everybody that they came out. It was awesome, bro. The gloves, I was a little nervous about the 10-ounce gloves and the no headgear, but once I got hit for the first time, I was like, oh man, I'm good. This is what I do. So I was like, after that it was over with.
When you got hit, did it motivate you? Did it change you at all? Or did you say, you know what? Okay, now I felt yours. You're going to feel mine now.
When I wanted to feel how it was to get hit with 10-ounce gloves on. So I kind of let him hit me, like I braced for it, let him hit me to see how I felt. But then once I felt it, I was like, oh, okay, let me stop playing. Then I started moving my head and we got him. I got him up out of it. I got him out there in the second round. My debut, I got him out in the second round. But it was.
Then I want to make sure I get this right. You're 5-0. How many knockouts you got?
I got 5 knockouts.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, I'll blame my research team on that because I wanted to announce that. So 5 wins, 0 losses, and all wins come in by way of knockout. What's the longest your opponents went with you? Because I know are you still going 4 rounds?
Yeah, my last fight was 4 rounds. This fight coming up, I fight July 16th. It's gonna be a 6-rounder. So I'm ready to keep pushing. But the most to win is 2 rounds. That's it.
So your next fight's July 16th. Where at, and how can we tune in? How can we make sure we're in tune with that?
Oh, that's July 16th in Atlanta, Georgia, at Buckhead Fight Club. I'll be the co-main event, and I'm fighting an undefeated fighter for 6-rounder, and it's gonna be a good fight.
I want to make sure before I get you off air tonight that later on I'm gonna give you my contact number. You send me that flyer, man. I want to help push and promote this event.
Okay, I will. I'll get that to you.
You know what? I want to ask you this, man. So when you walk out, I mean, you get your hands wrapped. Okay. And they tell you, okay, get ready. Now, what song do you walk out to? I mean, what pumps you up?
Lil Durk, he's my favorite rapper right now. And I've actually Lil Durk, he comes to our gym a lot. He's been coming to our gym. I've known him for about 2 years. Like I personally know him. And so I've been listening to him before I knew him, but when I listened to him, I became more of a fan. And so that's really all I listen to is Lil Durk. So it'd be a Lil Durk song, the hottest song that's out at the moment. I'll play. Then I'll walk out. It'd be Lil Durk. That's all we listen to in the gym. Just Lil Durk, Lil Baby. It'd be something, one of those. It'd be around that area.
We talked about who motivated you, who you used to watch coming up, and you said a little bit of Floyd Mayweather and, of course, Mike Tyson. Now, I want to ask you today, who do you watch and say to yourself, man, he got hands, or I like his tenacity, or you know what, I just like just the way he handles himself?
It's a couple of them. I want to say 3 of them.
Well, let me hear.
Gervonta Davis. I like how he handles himself. Yeah, I like his tenacity in the ring. I like how he's coming. Terrence Crawford. I like Terrence Crawford, man. I really do. Yeah, Bud. I like Terrence Crawford. I just like how his demeanor. You don't got to talk trash. He's not cocky. You know what I'm saying? But you test him, he gonna give you to you. And Arthur Burtabeef, I like his discipline, his work ethic. I like Arthur Burtabeef, man. That's the fighters of like right now that I kind of, when they watching, I'm coming to the table to see. I'm coming to the TV. I will be. I'm tuning in.
What's your time frame? What's your goal? When do you see yourself, signing that contract with the TV network, coming on the PVCs, coming on the ESPNs, the Top Ranks, the Eddie Hearns, the Zone Boxing, etc.
Yeah.
Is that on your mind frame right now, or are you just continuing just to work hard?
Most definitely, that's on my mind frame. I think about it all the time, but I continue to work hard because when opportunity comes to me, and once they see me, I'm gonna steal the show, and it's gonna be crazy. And that's why I put in hard work. I work so hard right now that when I get my opportunity, I won't fold. So I just keep working.
I'm going to ask you something off the cuff, man. When you're not watching boxing, what sports or TV show do you tune into just to relax at your time?
I watch boxing all the time. But when I'm not watching boxing, I do watch basketball. Definitely not a playoffs. I watch basketball.
Okay. Who's your team? Who's your team?
My team, the Hawks. I like the Hawks right now.
Okay.
The Hawks. And I like LeBron James too. So I was going for the Lakers. I'm kind of upset they lost, but you know what I'm saying? I think it's because they've been playing basketball for almost a whole year straight now, so they're tired. Yeah. But the Hawks, I like watching the Hawks. But basketball, that's kind of what I do. And a lot of just movies, like warrior movies, fight movies. I like stuff like that.
If I had $10, man, and you want to advise me to watch a movie, what movie would you recommend?
What movie would I recommend? Gladiator.
Gladiator? Okay.
Yeah, I like Gladiator.
I can dig stuff like that. Me personally, I love comedy, man. I love to laugh. It's the best medicine in the world, man.
Yeah. I like laughing too. I watch a lot of laughing stuff too, but how can I say it? Sometimes I'll go to sleep and sometimes I just fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? Like it just.
Oh, you're not the only one that falls asleep at movies, man. That's why I want to make
So,
sure I got some of that popcorn and stuff.
Yeah, so an action movie kind of keep me up and it be more exciting. I like action.
So I know as a heavyweight, you really don't got to dry yourself out. You really don't got to, but at the same time, you're still careful on what you eat. What's your favorite meal, man, between fights?
Between fights, I like steak, man. Steak.
I heard that.
Yeah, steak. I went to STK one time and it was like the steak was so good. I was like, yo, this is the best steak I ever had in my life. So steak. I like steak.
Well, some good, I'll plug them too. Some good A1 sauce.
Yeah. A1 sauce. 50. I like 57 sauce too. I like.
Do you?
Yeah. 57 sauce, A1 sauce, some mashed potatoes and some broccoli. That's kind of my meal right there.
Oh shoot, man! I'm Mexican. I'll put it in a tortilla with some hot sauce, and it's good to go, man.
Oh yeah, that's good too.
No, it is. Oh yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Right. So let's also talk about some good things in life, man. So you know what? You just won your fight. Now you're gonna take not a vacation, but you're gonna take some relaxing time. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's your gear like, man? Before you step out that house, man, from the Jordans to the jeans, you got to look fresh, man. What's it like? Are you a watch guy, a cologne guy, a belt guy, or y'all's got to get your hair lined up, or all the above?
All the above, man. I like. I've been kind of getting on cologne now, and this Savage Dior cologne, that's kind of my favorite. I done bought 2 bottles of it already, but I'm a laid back guy. I put on some 11s or some 1s and with a polo sweatsuit or Nike sweatsuit. I mean, like some 9.5s, 9.7s. That's kind of my thing. I'm not really a designer guy, so I can't say that. But I was just put on like a good sweatsuit, and that's kind of me right there.
That's your freshness right there, huh?
Yeah, that's me.
That's cool, man. I'm gonna mention some fighters that just come randomly, and give me your first take on them. And if you're not familiar with them, just say, hey, I really don't watch them. Okay. Let me start with Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury. He should be ranked higher in the pound for pound. That's what I think. He should be ranked higher in the pound for pound. I like it. That's what I think.
Bud Crawford.
Number 1 pound for pound fighter. To this day, he's the best fighter in the world right now.
Regis Prograis.
Craig, he got a lot of power. That dude has a lot of power. I wish he was more sharper, but I like him. So I watch him. I watched him his last fight. It wasn't the best looking fight, but I do watch Regis. I like him.
You know what? That's a great illustration right there. I mean, you're pretty much on right there when I mentioned Regis. I'm going to mention 2 more. Okay, I'm going to mention an old school fighter, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard, real good fighter. I think he's probably one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest.
Of course, you mentioned the greatest, Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, he's great too. And what he stood for outside of boxing and how he stayed on. How he stayed on top of boxing.
Come on,
for so long, man. It was you kind of can't take it from him. Like, man, what he did outside of boxing, and he fought high competition for years, man. I mean, he fought the best for years, and you can't knock it, man. Muhammad Ali, now he's a great too. He's a GOAT.
You know what? I'm going to add to that. A lot of people seem to forget he talked a gentleman off of jumping a ledge.
Yeah.
He also a war stopped. They stopped fighting because him and Joe Frazier were getting ready to fight. Yeah. I mean, he's just one of a kind, man. Champion inside and outside of the ring. What he stood for, was willing to lay it all down and give everything up, man. I mean, very, very special man right there. I will agree with you on that big time.
Yeah. Ali, he's most definitely respect. Hats off to all those fighters, man. But Ali, he stood up and just even with his fight he fought the top competition for years, man. Like if you look at it, I sometimes look at these fighters' box record. He fought high competition for a long time.
Oh, he fought them all. Kenny Norton, Joe Frazier. I mean, we can go on and on, man. I mean, we really can. Don't make you read his resume. But here's the thing: best fight movie. What do you recommend?
I like it's Rocky 3 with what's his name, Mr. T. I like Rocky 3. That's kind of the best fight movie for me. Rocky 3.
I like the original Rocky. I actually like the one they call Rocky Balboa. I like that one because they kept it real.
Yeah, that was a good one too. But I just liked how they showed how Rocky was. They showed how Rocky he lost his hunger. Yeah, and he was, and how Chubba he was hungry. So they were saying, "Hey man, Rocky, he's serious, man. You can't play with him."
Yeah,
I like how I like that part. Like they showed when you champion, you get everything you want. You're knocking everybody out.
Your volume went down, my man. There we go. Yeah, your volume. I lost you on your volume. Okay, I'm pretty sure you'll come back there. Is that better?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there. Yeah, definitely. Hey, it happens, man. Welcome to the element of Zoom.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Welcome to the element of Zoom. You know, sometimes calls drop. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, we'll try it again.
My fault. And then I got a call at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's what breaks it up. Yeah, we're still here with DaCarree, Scott. Let me ask you this. I know you can hear me. How far are you away from Fresno, California? Is that better? Are you tuned in?
It's like you real low.
Oh, okay. Is that better now? Yeah.
Can you speak?
Yeah, testing. How are you hearing me now? Is that cool?
I can hear you.
All right. So how far are you from Fresno, California?
I'm probably like 12. I'm like 2-day drive. I'm in
wow.
Atlanta. Yeah, I'm all in Atlanta.
So when you do come to Fresno, I'm sure you're gonna have a fight there soon, or in the future. You got to stop by the studio, man. Bring you in the studio.
I most definitely will. I will.
No, time seems to fly, man. I mean, you know, growing up, you've watched Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson. What is it about yourself that you just realize, you know what I'm doing is kind of special, and I'm waiting to make a difference. I'm waiting to get mine.
It's just... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's better. I couldn't hear you. It was real low.
Okay.
Say it again. Can you say the question again, please? I'm sorry.
Okay, when you were growing up, you were watching Mike Tyson and you're watching Floyd Mayweather. When did you realize that yourself, that you had something special? Because you play different sports, but when did you realize, you know what, I have a chance and now I just need this opportunity?
And I say my first national. I went to the nationals at qualify for Olympic trials. I had fought a fighter. He was ranked number 1 or 2, number 1 seed in the tournament, but I think he's ranked number 3 in the country. And the fight before that, it was a guy, he was kind of my stature. He was short, chubby, and he got stopped in the first round. So when I get in there, the dude I'm fighting, he's like 6'8", man. He's real big. And everybody just looking like, oh, he's gonna be the same thing. And when I went there and I was different, they was like, oh, it was crazy. So I was like, everybody liked me after that. Like the tournament, everybody want to see me fight. What ring you fight in? And after that, it was kind of like, I think I'm special. People want to see me. Like I must watch TV, and that's kind of how I felt.
That's when you knew.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, in the middle of the show, I mentioned, I'm sure you're familiar with Richard Torres Jr. He's from our parts. He's from Tulare, California. He's actually about maybe an hour and a half away from where I live. And he's on his way to the Olympics, man. Yeah. Will you be tuning in? Will you be rooting for him? What was your relationship with him, if you don't mind?
I never met him. We never fought. I don't know him. I do know him as he was number 1 heavyweight. So when I qualified for the Olympic trials, I kind of figured that's who I'm going to be fighting day one. Yeah. I came in as an 8 seed. So I was trained. I was expecting to fight him. So that's kind of my thing. But, you know what I'm saying? What happened in the Pan Am games, they had kind of pushed him back, and he fought the second place winner for the team. So that's kind of like made it where we didn't fight. But man, I respect him, bro. I mean, I don't know him. He's doing something great in the Olympics, and hopefully one day we can fight. And I can show that I'm the real deal. But I have nothing bad about him. He's working. He's doing his thing. I wish him the best. I wish him the best. He wins gold. USA needs to gold medalist. I wish him the best.
You know, I'm going to show him this piece. I'm going to send it to him later on, and I'm sure he's going to appreciate that. You know, just some more encouragement from people across the world, man.
Yeah, it'd be great if we could spar. I would, I would love to get some work in. I would love to get work with Richard. I mean, that's a great experience. He's sparred around the world, and that's a great experience for me. So, we could set something up. That'll be great.
I'll definitely let his dad know. I know he's, I believe, in Japan now, but I'll let his father know. I mean, when that time comes, because I truly believe iron sharpens iron, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who's the big dog in the gym? Let's talk about your gym. What's the name of the gym? Who's your trainer? Who's your team? Let's give them some love, man.
Oh man, my gym is Grindhouse. That's the name of our gym.
I like
Mustafa.
that name, Grindhouse.
Yeah, Mustafa. He's our head coach, and we got gym full of killers, man. I'm actually still at the gym
Mustafa,
now.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
No. Mustafa Meekins, man. He
Okay. Because
yeah,
I'm about to say it, man.
Nah, he's real big on Instagram.
Give him a call.
Man.
We got to get him on too.
Yeah, I mean, I can go in the gym. They in the gym right now. They still sparring and everything, but that's my gym, man. Mustafa, he's real big on Instagram. That's kind of where he, you know what I'm saying, everybody kind of got a touch of us Instagram, and man, he's just a teacher. It's, you know what I'm saying, he's learning as he goes. He listens to everybody. He takes in, he takes out. He's not disrespectful. I mean, he's a good coach, man. Our gym is a good gym, and it started from nothing, man, and that's why I respect him so much, because I was really like probably say his first fighter. That when he said I'm gonna start training fighters, he was training fighters then, but I'm the really first fighter. He just came and he brought under his wing, and ever since then it's like father and son, man. And we've been through a lot, up and down, some good ups, some bad, and even with the gym situation, and it's home, man. This is home.
I'm glad you felt comfort, and I'm glad you found a place where you can excel.
Yeah.
In the top of the show when it started, I said I would talk about Floyd Mayweather and the event that took place. I want to talk about that. What was your take with Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul? And first of all, the weight difference and the exhibition, and what the pros and cons of that event that took place, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I mean, it was cool to see Floyd, man. He's a legend. You miss him. It was cool to see him. I'll be honest, and personally, I don't want to see him fight no more. But you know, expedition, there's no winner, there's no winner, there's no losers. It's perfect. And with Paul and with the Logan was Paul Logan, Jake.
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, man, he's doing him. It's like a lot of fighters, they get upset about the expedition and how they YouTubers and this and that. Hey man, that's why players don't get mad when celebrities play basketball. When they have the celebrity game, they don't get mad. They let them do them. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let him do him. He got his fame another way. But if he step in the ring with you, you kill him and you show him that I am a real fighter. And that's what you're supposed to do. With Floyd, it was a weight difference. It was clearly a weight difference.
Absolutely, really a size difference all the way around.
Yeah, he really a heavyweight. If they were the same size, Floyd knocks him out. But he's not. Floyd did good for Floyd is older. He's smaller. You know what I'm saying? No matter how green he is, he's still a big guy. If he would have hit Floyd with a wild punch right hand, he could knock Floyd out. He's 200 pounds. He's the heavyweight. That's the weight class for a reason. So even Floyd just doing that was come on, man, special. No need to be mad. Just,
you know, let's not forget about also the age difference too. You know, reflexes and Floyd actually, he put his whole legacy on the line because he could have actually caught one. I mean, it's not every day you get hit with somebody 30 pounds heavier with that leverage. I don't care if it's a wild punch, man. Any man with a 200-pound punch, man. I mean, he can put your lights out.
And a lot of fighters know this. A green fighter, just because he's green, he's still dangerous. He has no control. He's wild. He's not throwing everything correct. So it's different. He still gotta learn. So it's still dangerous. It was still dangerous for Floyd, but he came out safe. You know, they made a ton of money. I'm not knocking him. Hey, do what you gotta do.
Exactly, man. Let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
If you can change anything about your career, what would you change or what would you add to it?
What would I change?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. All right, I'll change the fact that fighters, they think because you heavyweight and you short that you can't fight. Because in a street fight, if somebody slaps you just because he's 6'6", don't mean you're not gonna do nothing no matter how tall he is. So I wish people would take that out their mind and just accept it and fight as a fight. Take the height difference, take that out. I wish they would do that. That's what I wish I could change. That's kind of more.
That's people's mind frame and people's mindset. But I will tell you this, man. You're in the most exciting division in the world, the heavyweight division. People stop what they're doing when the heavyweights are on. People tune in when the heavyweights are on. If they're sleepy, they're going to stay awake because they know it. All it takes is one.
Yeah. One punch.
Going into that, what precaution do you take going in? Because anything can happen in boxing. Is this something that you've been working on, with your defense, or you just want to make sure, hey, I want to make sure I touch him before he touches me?
I work on defense a lot. Like our defense is my coach's biggest thing. We work on slipping, rolling, catching, parrying, defense, and we work on that. Even for to our smallest fighters, is defense. That's our one thing is defense, and we work on that. And I work on that a lot. 15 rounds of shadow boxing, sometimes just defense, and just I work on defense. That's my thing. That's my specialty. Is I'm short. I come into the war inside, and I'm not getting hit. And if you watch me, that's a lot. People see like, wow, how he get inside the big guy, not even getting hit. And it's defense.
There's a 12-year-old listening right now, and he wants to get into boxing, but he's not too sure, man.
Mhm.
What advice are you offering him? What would you tell him about the sweet science?
I'll tell him, try it out. You just try it out, and you'll see if it's for you. A lot of people know what's for them. You know what I'm saying? Like if you in math class, you're not good in math, but you go to science, you're good at science. You will know what is your lane. Just try it out. All you can do is try. If you don't like it, get punched in the face. You saying, nah, this ain't for me. Hey, you figured it out, but you at least can try. Nothing wrong with trying.
What does your circle say? I mean, that's around you. I'm talking about your boys, your friends, your family. How supportive are they, and how proud of them are they of you? Because you could always tell. You could see that certain smile and that proudness, especially when you're fighting. Hey, DaCarree's fighting. We got to go. We got to check this out. How does that make you feel knowing you have that support system?
I feel real good, man. My mother, she's very supportive. My grandma, she is very supportive.
Let's give him a shout out. Say hi to grandma and mom.
Yeah, what's up, grandma? What's up, mom? They are so supportive, man. Like before I was a Mac truck in the Instagram, before I turned pro, before I was even a decent fighter, man, they always supported me. And then, second, my daughter, man. I love my daughter. She's won about 15 months, and just seeing her grow, how much she loves me is I love my daughter, man. Her name's DaCarree. She's the best. She motivates me to keep going harder and keep pushing. And then for my boys, man, I got Mustafa. He's like my dad. Key White, Marco, Buck, my boy Jerome, Donovan. Just man, like my day ones, man, they watch me grow up, and they watch me really just keep pushing and getting better. And that's my guys.
Right on, man. Let me see. Oh, what do we got? A question coming in? A chat. Let me see. Says I'm here. Blah 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 blah. Man, you got a little fan base already, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make sure hey, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, man. I appreciate your support, man, and things that you do, because people are going to drop questions once I get off, and I can answer them as a host, but there's nothing like answering them as a guest, because I can't speak for you. I could just speak of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly what you're saying.
So, before I let you go, man, how can we follow you, man? How can we support you, man?
Oh, man, you can follow me on Instagram at __ Mac Truck, MACTRUCK __. And I'll pop up. You can follow me on TikTok at Mac Truck 404. And I post a lot of clips on TikTok, man, and you'll enjoy it. It's more than I post on Instagram, so TikTok will be kind of fun. You'll see a little bit more of me and with my family and what I do on my free time. And Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter at Mac Truck. And that's where I be. That's my main platforms I be on.
I remember I tagged you. I got to make sure to follow you. And I did friend you on Facebook. I want to follow your journey. I want to be a part of your journey, man. And I want you to reach out and say, hey, Rich, I'm going to be fighting this day, man. I appreciate it. If I can get a little soundbite or do what you can. And I love to do that. Iron sharpens iron, man, because when you're heavyweight champion of the world, you're going to say the fighter's voice, man, the only voice that matters was in my corner and making it happen from day one when I was just, 5-0 with 5 Ks.
I won't forget. I'll remember that.
Oh, yeah, you will. I'm going to be looking for that flyer, man. You hit me up, man, and I'm going to make sure to post it and tag it and let your promoter know too, man. He can send his stuff, and we'll push it and do what we do. You got to remember, this platform is for the fighter. It's for you guys.
Okay.
Because every voice matters, especially yours, man. And tonight you're the guest, and the platform was yours, man. It's a pleasure having you on, and time just flies. And I got to have you back, especially right before your fight. And then we'll do a little post-fight right after your fight, because I want to see how it goes, man. And you know what? There's no shame in it. I want you to go a couple rounds. I want to hear, hey, Richard, I stopped him in the 4th, man. I'm saying, okay, man. all right, baby boy, you got your rounds in then.
Yeah.
You got your breathing
Okay.
in. You know what I mean?
Okay. I see if
I'm not
see if I
telling
can-
I'm not telling you if he leaves his chin up, leave him alone. You know, if he
Yeah.
wants to go to sleep, put him to sleep. But
Yeah, I
it
got
is
you.
what it is.
If he comes to fight, I'll make it a fight. I'm still gonna stop him. Result, he's gonna get stopped. Everybody's gonna get stopped. But
That's right.
I will give you guys something to look at. I'll do that. I think I'll do that.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate your time, and I know you want to get back in the gym. I'm going to be talking to the fighter's voice. No, I'm sorry, the boxing voice. Because I would go to Las Vegas sometimes. They go, the boxing voice. I go, no, the fighter's voice. Yeah. So I know I can see it, how the similarities are there. I mean, I almost said the same thing. So I'll be talking to your buddy in a little bit, man. Nestor.
Nestor, that's my guy, man. The fight. The boxers.
See, you were gonna say the fighter's voice, huh? Hey, you can't. Hey, you can't go wrong though. You can't go wrong.
Boys, man, they've been supporting a long time, man. They've been pushing me and doing interviews with me for almost a year now. The boxing voice is the truth, man. And they have a great system, and I like what they're doing over there.
Well, we like what you're doing, man, and I'll be seeing you soon, man. Enjoy yourself and get back to that gym, my man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, my man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. My man, Nestor, how we doing? The boxing voice.
How are you, brother? I'm doing very good. The fighter's voice.
The only voice that matters. We're just like the boxing voice, simply knocking out the competition.
What's going on, brother? How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man, but I'm looking at those belts behind you, man. I'm looking at the whole setup behind you. The light is popping. The belts are shining. The mic is glowing. My man is ready to spill right now. Finally, you're on the fighter's voice, man. Thank you for being our guest tonight.
Man, thank you for inviting me, man. I would have been on a long time ago.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And talk to us about, the boxing voice. First of all, let's talk about how you came up with that name.
Oh man, it was actually between me and a friend, Robert the Genius, and yeah, man, we just we were both listeners of an old show called The Boxing Truth, and you know, it just fit our motto, you know, it's like the voice of the people. So we were the boxing voice, right? The voice of the people. And it's stuck ever since then, man.
I like it. It's catchy.
Yeah, it is.
Very
catchy.
Can't
complain.
Nah, and if you did, who would listen? Just us. But that's okay, man. I'm looking at those belts behind you, man. I mean, it's looking real sharp, man. I like where you record. You got it going on in there.
Yeah, man, I got lucky enough. Oh, wow. Let me switch this. Does that sound any better?
Oh, that's a lot better, my man.
Crazy. I set all this up beforehand.
Welcome. I was just saying earlier, welcome to the world of Zoom.
Yeah, you know, I don't use Zoom because of that. Everybody's like on the new hot thing, but I stick to my old Skype, man. They've been doing group, video calls for a long time, so I feel like they're a little more stable. But this seems very similar, you know.
Well, there you go. We'll make it happen.
I like the setup the way that it is up top, that, you know, I can see the multiple guests, you know. But
no, that's good.
You got the merch going on, man. That's embroidery there.
Yeah, you know, we got a little something here, man. And, you know, every now and then we gotta pop some things out, man. And, you know, I got to make sure I get your size, your address. I got to send you some things out there. And the whole thing is, if you don't promote yourself, nobody else will.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look, and the thing is, no one's going to work as hard as you. You can hire 1 million people, but you have to be the hustler. You know, you have to want to grow. And, you know, that's where I'm at. You know, I'm growing, but I'm at a point where I partnered with Fight Hype so that I can get a little more exposure, you know, and I'm doing all my interviews that I do on the road or in the field. I'm simultaneously uploading not only to my channel, but to their channel. And, you know, then in the end credits, I get to put my channel's name and my information. And I have to pray that people get to the end and I can convert some of them viewers, because I still want to grow. I'm still a hustler out here trying to get it. You know, I've been flying around the country for the last few days. You know, we were in Wisconsin for the Canelo fight. You know, we were hired to do our show live from a bar in Wisconsin,
Oh, wow.
ironically called The Bar. And so that was for the Canelo fight. And then from there, you know, we flew to Devin Haney on the 29th of May and covered the Vegas Devin Haney fight. And then, you know, I think before that, though, or after that, was the Tank press conference in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And now this fight with Floyd in Miami, which was the best thing. Let me tell you, you know, people like to say Jake Paul and Logan Paul are bad for boxing. The people saying that they're bad for boxing, those are the people bad for boxing. I gained about 8,000 subscribers and nearly 2 million views in one day.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I've been covering this sport 10, 12 years. I've never gotten 8,000 subscribers in a day, let alone 2 million views in a day. So Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they got my blessings. They are great for boxing because you got to think of it this way, right? Someone will say, no, you're just selfish. You're just thinking of yourself. You're thinking about your check. That's not true. I'm the lowest on the totem pole, right? So if a Jake Paul or a Logan Paul fan comes to my video, right?
Yeah.
Let's say hypothetically they got there because of the title, and now they need a reason to convert, right? So they're there because of Jake or Logan, right? Now they come there. I'm not showing the fight. I'm not interviewing Jake. I'm not interviewing Floyd. I have to convert those people. They can simply click and leave away. That's what bounce rate means. They came, you know, you got a low bounce rate. They didn't like what they seen and they turned away, you know, but if they actually subscribe to a channel like the Fighter Voice or the Boxing Voice, they know what they're subscribing to. They're not subscribing to the Jake Paul voice or the Logan Paul voice or, you know, whatever it is that those dudes did on YouTube in the past, pranks, and they know what they're signing up for. So my conversions, I think, are testimony. Now, I can be wrong, but I mean, to me, data is data. Numbers don't lie. Women lie, men lie, numbers do not lie. And these guys are converting. You know, you look at other channels that jumped on the wave before, like a seconds out, you know, Radio Raheem covered the Logan Paul KSI 2 because the first one was on YouTube, got no coverage. Second one, Eddie signed, got all the coverage, and they grew tremendously. So obviously, these fans that are fans of the Paul brothers are convertible and not drop top. I mean, you can convert them from one to the other. And I met dozens. I was live at the fight, just recording people in the bowl. And there was dozens and dozens of people there that truly, and I think, what more do you want than, you know, no disrespect to them, but silly boxing fans that really believe Logan has a shot. Like, he did better than expected.
That's the American dream.
Tell me about it.
You know, you ran off on my question. I was going to say, tell us about the platform, and you're telling us right now. When did you decide, you know what, I'm tired of just sitting back and watching. I want to make a difference. I know I can reach out. When did you decide to just step out and do it?
Immediately, man. I swear to you. For me, you know, and I feel lucky, but I also think that that's why I've had a decent amount of growth, is because it was all passionate, and it was also coincidence, right? Like I have one best friend that slightly knows boxing, and he's biased towards Cubans because he's Cuban. So there was never anyone that I could really go and express myself to when it came to watching a fight many, many years ago, right? So my wife is the one at the time, actually I'm divorced now. So my wife at the time said, you should start Twitter. And it was very early in. I mean, again, Danny wasn't even the world champion, Garcia, at the time. You know, he was actually, my first episode was a Philly special.
Nice.
With two fighters from Philadelphia by the names of Gabriel Rosado and Danny Swift
Wow.
Garcia was my first episodes. And yeah, so she told me to get on Twitter, and I found like minds. I found people like you and myself and others, and I began to interact, and then I stumbled across a few podcasts. As a truck driver at the time, all I want to do was consume audio so that I can stay focused
And
and
stay
just
awake.
keep driving, right? Like I built my first home, or bought my first home, excuse me. That came out wrong. I definitely refurbished that sucker.
That's right.
But I built my first home by, killing myself on that road for the behind the wheel. But it opened my appetite for podcasting and podcasts. I would listen to things, I mean, from movie podcasts to boxing podcasts to relationship podcasts to, I mean, you name it, I listened to it because, again, I was behind the wheel. All I wanted to do was stay entertained. So I could do the overtime that was always accessible to me. Like there was unlimited amount of overtime. So yeah, I just felt the void, Richard. I felt like I could do better. I felt like people weren't giving the fight fan the voice. The same thing I was seeking, it wasn't really there. I got lucky to be a natural. So I called into a few shows, and they liked my calls. Their chats got a little more engagement. So the owner called me back, because you get the person's number. He just called me back after a show, and he's like, "Hey, what do you think about co-hosting a show with me on, like, bro, it was like the third shift. It was like, post fights.
Yeah.
So it was, what do you think about doing Saturday night post fights? So there goes date night out the window.
Right.
And I'm like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? And went from there. But again, I didn't like the way things were being done. And it wasn't my platform. It wasn't my thing. And,
Good starter, though. Good starter.
It was. But I just decided I want to do things my way.
Yes.
And, I branched off into doing things my way. And I had a partner at first, but we didn't see eye to eye. He was a little more radical than me, to say the least. Like, he'd just be like, literally, we were interviewing Joel Diaz. And this is, damn, it seems like I'm so old. It seems like so long ago. We were interviewing Joel Diaz, Richard, and I swear at the time, Timothy Bradley was trained by Diaz, and he had a stigma for using his head. My co-host at the time literally asked Joel Diaz, like, "Hey, do you train Bradley to use his head?" Because that was the thing. And it was just like so unprofessional that I'm like, we got to part ways because you got a different vision. He was this, he was doing very well and still is. I'm in very communications with him, and he's still doing well in real estate. But I felt like you have this other business that you're passionate about, and this is just a hobby for you. And while at the time it was a hobby for me, I didn't want to be taken as a joke. And those type of questions I felt would put us in a certain category. So we parted ways quickly. And, I just been doing it on my own.
What was his response when he asked that question? I got to ask you, what was his response on
Joel's?
that? Or did you bring him out of the water before he started to drown?
I definitely interrupted and was like, whoa, and try to laugh it off. But Joel answered it. He's a, true professional. Yeah. He laughed it off. He said, Timothy gets a bad rap. He's a short guy, likes to fight on the inside. But, the media really saved him from that. Because honestly, it wasn't like just my co-host. Like, that was a thing. Yeah. Tim was abusing people with that head. You go back to the Devin Alexander fight, he cut him. He was abusing people with the head, and eventually he took care of it. He stopped, definitely stopped, and it just was something that was forgotten. But there's a right way to talk about that, or a right way to present that question, not in that manner. It wasn't what I was trying to do. Obviously, I foreseen myself getting to another level, and eventually we did. You know what I mean?
And you know what? You got to look out for the brand, because if you don't look out for the brand, nobody else is. Here's the thing. It can be all fine and dandy when everything's going right. When it goes wrong, all eyes are on you, not the co-host, not the director, not the producer, not the sponsor. Their eyes are on you.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I will say this. I want to touch on you this, because I've been wanting to try to get this off my chest too. There was a time when I gave someone an opportunity, which I never got an opportunity. They would clown me. They make fun of me when I had my cell phone back in the day, when it wasn't fashionable to use your cell phone.
You
when it
know
was
that.
fashionable to have the big camera and everything. They would clown me. They would humiliate me. I had no mic set. Everything was echo. And now these phones are great. It's the thing to use. It's Ali Sebag don't even use his camera anymore. He uses 2 cell phones. Long story short, I gave this guy an opportunity. And my mistake was I had a promotion say, "Hey, is this guy with you?" And I should have asked him why. I said, "Yeah, he's with me." And then later on, I was finding out is he was asking for T-shirts. He was asking for extra tickets. And that's not what we do here, man. Back in the day, sure, I'll take a free shirt, but that's not what we do here. You got to be able to walk away from that stuff. That's not why we're here for the free T-shirt, or they want to give tickets for the promotion to give away on the station. That's fine and dandy. I just don't want to be affiliated with a super fan. You're either a super fan or you're a professional. A professional can walk away because there's another time and there's another place.
No, absolutely. Totally agree. I mean, it's difficult finding good help. I mean, that's a phrase that's been, in the world for a while now. And you just got to vet people. You got to vet people to try and see their true interests or agendas. You know, like you said, I accept any shirts, Abner has given, I mean, you name it, they've given it to me, but I use it to give away on the show. My goal was always grow the show. So it's like, hey, we got to keep One Time Thurman shirt. Who wants it?
Absolutely.
For your subscribers, for your fan base, and again,
this guy was sent a whole box of shirts. None of them were given away. To this day, I don't even have one of that promotion, which I would have wore it when I interviewed the fighters, knew nothing about it. And then some for tickets. So that was enough.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but as far as giving out fighter shirts, absolutely. I mean, that's wonderful. I would always rock and support a fighter when they're on the show or just doing something special. I wanted to ask you this, man. What's been the most difficult transition from from taking the opportunity when you were asked to be a co-host to finally realizing, you know what, I want to take the handcuffs off. I want to do it. I got a different vision. What risk to yourself did you say, okay, you know what, I'm just going to go for it and risk it all? I'm leaving an opportunity that I have here, but I believe in my platform. I believe in my dream.
Oh no, man! I mean, I didn't last long from what I can remember with the other platform. It was just, I did a few shows and the wheels are always churning for me. It's like I'm a Gemini. I say it all the time on my show. Like I give away free ideas. You leave it to me. I believe that Showtime was listening to my show. I told them they were dropping the ball by not having Diesel Samero on there, who were already established on YouTube. You got Bernstein and Farhood calling fights for 18 and 21-year-olds that do not know who the hell those people are. Get some, YouTubers. And sure enough, they did it for the Logan Paul fight. So like, yeah, I mean, I just grind, bro. I put my head down and grind. I try not to worry too much about other people and things like that. And I just felt I can do it differently. That's all.
June 19th, we got a fight coming up, man. I mean, on Triller. Well, what do you think about Teofimo taking that step and just, thinking about his career? Things weren't going the way he wanted it, so he stepped out and taken that opportunity. Do you think more fighters should do so if they're not happy now that there is opportunity for them, or do they got to stay and fulfill their contract? What's your take on that?
I'm a little confused by what you mean, because you got to understand that uh Tiafimo isn't out of his contract. He
No,
just
no, and but leaving Top Rank just for that event.
again also not in his control. Maybe he was in cahoots. All right. Maybe he was in cahoots with the executive who probably texted him and said, hey, we're gonna bid on the purse bid, expect us to win. And that's why he was so cocky and telling people in interviews there'll be a big surprise. But it was still a purse bid. And if he Triller, the app doesn't win, then Tio, this fight would have been on Top Rank, if not happen at all, because they didn't want to pay for it. But actually, they bid about what, 3 million? I think they bid half of what Triller bid, so it would have still happened, but it would have happened on Top Rank. Like Tio's not out the contract. The fun part starts, I think, after this fight.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No problem. It does when you come back home and how they treat you for stepping out. That was my point. That's what I wanted to get at. A lot of fighters won't take that opportunity, even though the money's good.
All right. And sorry, bro. Freaking right now, I just got a text from I've been trying to get into this Tyson Fury camp, and now Sugar Hill hits me and says he's not doing interviews until after they announce the press conference for the fight.
Well, there you go, man. I was on the grind.
But
you don't got to go word for word, but since it's on the show, let us know what that text kind of said. You don't got to go word for word.
Which one? With Sugar Hill?
Well, yeah, you reached out. You want to get in the Tyson Fury camp?
I'm totally not traditional or professional. My text to Sugar Hill was like, Coach, I live in Florida. I want to interview you. And then he hit me back like, hey, Nestor, I'm not going to do any interviews until after there is a press conference for the fight. So I just text back like, can I come to the gym for the rest of the fighters? Ultimately, I want Tyson Fury, but you know, I'll get anybody. I got to answer. This is Kevin Cunningham.
No, get that.
Coach, how are you? Sorry.
Only on the Fighter's Voice. We do things live.
I was doing an interview. How are you?
I believe he's on the phone with trainer Sugar Hill, the trainer for Tyson Fury.
Hold on.
So this is what we do here at the Fighter's Voice. We keep it real. We keep it 100.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Is that I'm in the middle of an interview though, but what's good?
Nothing, man. I'm just hitting you up. So what you doing with Fight Hack, man?
It'd be good if we put it up to the microphone.
You got a little something? What's with that?
Yeah, kind of a merger, man, because you know they got the 1 million subscribers, so they get the views, man. And my goal ultimately is to, you know, whatever exposure I'm trying to give a fighter, I want the most for him. So, you know, it's a combination. Now, for instance, Lubin will get my platform and Fight Hype. So it's a double whammy for the fighter and more exposure for the fighter ultimately. And that's it, man. That's essentially it. At the end of the day, numbers is what people respect. So the bigger the interview, the easier the job, in my opinion. But you around tomorrow? Cause it's like 3 hours, but I can make it. I got a flight on Thursday to go to Wisconsin, but I would like to come through the gym if it's possible.
Yeah. I was gonna set something up with you when we can work something out, man.
If we could do tomorrow, I'm gonna text you early in the morning, like around 10.
You say you're going to Wisconsin tomorrow?
Nah, Thursday. But I'm gonna try and get to you by like 12 tomorrow. If I leave like 10, I should be able to get to you by like 12 or 1. Do y'all train around that time?
Yeah, we train at Lubin. He's in there about 1:30.
All right, I'm gonna see. Can I make that? Because you know I'm on the other side of Florida, but I wanted to hit you up about that. So
yeah. You ain't gotta be this week. You can do next week. You here in Florida?
Yeah. All right. So let me hit you back so I can wrap up this interview.
That's what I want to talk to you about. I want to give you an exclusive in the camp. You know, before we break camp. You know.
Yeah, I'm all for it. You let me know.
You know, because then I got this viral shit I'm gonna drop on your ass.
Nice.
That's gonna go viral. Get you a million views by your motherfucker.
Yo, you see my 2 videos over the weekend? Almost got 1 million, man. Fucking Mayweather knows how to bring them out.
Man, I thought I was gonna run back up in the stadium with my pistol, man.
Ah! you seen that? You seen that, man? Shit, I'm hoping Kelly ain't see that damn thing, man. Yo, that dude was disrespectful, man. He should never touch my equipment.
You talking about Kelly Swanson?
Yeah, you know she be,
Man, shit.
you know she be acting up. You know she do.
She be doing some stupid shit, but you all right. You ain't.
For sure. Kevin, let me hit you in a little bit. Let me wrap up this interview with somebody.
All right.
All right, brother. Thank you. Sorry, brother. You're gonna have to edit that shit.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna put that on there. I like that. That keeps it real. I'm gonna put a little clip of that in there. I won't get the personal stuff, but I was hoping to hear some of that stuff on the mic. I mean, we're live right now, so I mean,
Live
I'm gonna
on
put that on
YouTube?
there right now. Oh, we live on YouTube, my man.
Yo, I asked you for a link. I would have liked to hear the interview you was doing, but holy shit, bro. Fuck, that's not. I mean, I don't know what he want. Man, I should have lowered my mic.
It's all good, man. It's all good, man. I appreciate the honesty.
Say anything. At least he didn't say anything that was supposed to be private. But my bad, Kevin. I told you I was in the middle of an interview. Fuck. Sorry.
It's all good, man. It's
where were we?
We were talking about Teofimo's contract and how some of the fighters they'll take that risk and do what they got to do.
I mean, I wish all fighters did that, bro. I mean, for what I want.
What
for
happens
Teo,
with that? No, that was
Sorry.
actually for like what's for
You don't hear that, did you?
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh fuck. What I want for Teo is for him to buy himself out of his contract if he doesn't really like being with Top Rank and he doesn't like the way that they're treating him. You know what I mean? Don't just go do this one-off because it's a purse bid. Instead, do this one-off and buy yourself out because you just made a lot of money. Not only did you make a lot of money, you were paid a lot of guaranteed money because of the purse bid. Now you should be making pay-per-views. This is a huge pay-per-view. Not only is the card itself super duper solid, poor Franchon Cruz, people need to interview her, but that's what a good publicist is for. That being said, she's unifying and undisputing on that card. He's unifying and defending his mandatory.
Yeah.
I mean, the undercard is solid. Then you got like A-list performers.
Let's talk about that undercard. You have Andy Altibero and Vincent's coming from Top Rank on that undercard, and is actually going to be on the show this Thursday. So I want to make sure that later on, I want to give them your connects, and you got to have them on your show soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. We've totally had Andy on in the past, and yeah, I would love to get him back on, but I forget who he's fighting. I know it's actually don't tell me it's Jonah Caro, bro. That's a solid fight. This is what
it is a solid fight.
Like they made a nice fight, but I don't know if it's getting the right promotion. Hopefully Teo does well anyway because hopefully he does well because of all the acts and it's his first pay-per-view because there's a lot of pressure on him. He doesn't know it, but there's a lot of pressure. Tank's already done a successful pay-per-view and Tank's already working on his second, which will also be successful pay-per-view.
You know what's my concern, honestly, is I want to make sure he makes the weight properly.
Who?
Because he's been looking pretty thick, Teofimo.
He has been looking pretty muscular. But I'm sure he's on. I mean, he's been looking like he's been working for a while. Yeah. I think he should be good.
So let me ask you, what was your take on Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez?
Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez. I mean, I give Ramirez. I mean, Taylor all the credit in the world. I mean, he did a fantastic job. I know some people didn't like the holding, but I've been doing this so long that the holding to me wasn't excessive. Holding excessive to me is Devin Alexander, Marcos Maidana, oh my God, Kell Brooks, Sean Porter.
Yeah.
I mean, off the top, that's all I can remember. But there are notorious clinchers out there, and Josh didn't do that. Josh was lighting up Ramirez. You know, and it is what it is. You know, hopefully Ramirez has a good plan. He said, you know, maybe I think he said him and Regis, then he gets the winner, or I mean, then he tries to get a rematch or something.
He
Either
said,
or,
actually, he said Teofimo at for any belt.
there you go. You know,
But him and Regis would be something nice. I mean, well, okay, I'm going to talk about that, and then then I'm going to have to let you get that important call. Now, 140s. Okay, here's the plan. Josh Taylor is going to defend at home, which he wants to walk in with all 4 bouts, and deservedly so. Then he's going to go chase.
it's also mandatory. You're talking about versus Catterall, right? Jack
Yeah,
Catterall?
yeah. Well, I mean, but you know, you instead of just moving up and chasing Bud Crawford, you know, he's going to have that mandatory. Now, after that, when he vacates,
would you chase Bud if you were him?
yeah, I would, because there's a lot of money on that table, and tell an undefeated man he can't win.
How much you think is on the table for that?
I think double figures.
I mean, all right, give me a number though.
I'm not at the negotiating table, but just say Bud Crawford came down to the UK. We'll just say, because Bud Crawford, he's itching. He needs to compete. You know, we're the best pound for pound fighters in the world, and he's been on ice for a while. It's not his fault. I mean, you know, he can only do so much with his contract and his promotion. PVC has all the fireworks at 147.
They do. He definitely needs to get out of that contract.
Yes.
Hopefully he can do that by October is allegedly the when the contract expires.
But believe me, he's been talking to some people because he believes in himself and believes in his career. Now, my point was, when Josh Taylor vacates, us the fans, we're going to get a free tournament. Because all these bouts, the WBA, the WBO, the WBC, IBF, etc. You got Regis Prograis, you got Cepeda, you got Arnold Barboza, Jose Ramirez, you got Tank moving up, Teofimo moving up. So when these guys fight each other, unless we just run into some stupid politics, number 3 guy against the number 19 guy.
I think Tank will be taking that. If he beats Barrios, when Josh vacates, Tank's keeping that WBA super. They'll elevate him.
Well, I tell you what.
Too much money.
Well, yeah, his opponent has to be one of these monsters that are floating around. 140 is going to be fireworks.
I mean, 140 is going to be all the people that he already knows, like the Ryans moving up, all those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, you know, no name sticks out except Josh Taylor, right? Like maybe Regis, but again, though
Regis came on the show and he said, "I beat Josh Taylor. Look at the fight again." That's what he said.
Well, you know, I guess the judges didn't see it that way. I didn't see it that way either. You know, I'm not.
I saw a close fight, and I just the right man was awarded the fight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he pushed my guy back. I thought my guy would be the bully. He pushed my guy back.
I thought so too.
And you know, I think that's probably something that no one was expecting, and that probably could have cost him a lot of rounds.
Yeah, I agree with you.
To see him fight in a style that wasn't necessarily, you know, what people expected.
So your take was that, you know, Josh Taylor was awarded the fight. He fought his ass off. He did what he needed to do. Now, you kind of questioned me when I chased Bud Crawford and how much money is on there. You don't think that is the smart move for Josh? You think he should stay down? You don't think he should try to bid for that 147 bout? Because all the other champions they're going to be busy, occupied, fighting each other.
So here's the thing, for Josh, if you move up, you're the B side. So what? Maybe they make it a little bit sexy for you and bring Bud to the UK, but you're still the B side, and you're expected to lose. What you could just defend like Tio, keep your belts and defend like Tio, right? And be the king where you are. Bud needs an opponent. Josh doesn't need an opponent.
I will say this, man. I was talking to Josh. He's a big man. He's a big 140 pounder, big and solid. I don't know how much he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish at 140s, and he wants to move up to 147s. And yes, there's some big names out there to defend. There's that Regis Prograis a rematch. People would want to see that. Now that can be something, and that can happen before going after the 147. What you do bring is, okay, the unified champion moves up to fight another former unified champion at 140. You can sell that. They're both with Top Rank. It is what it is. But I do agree with you. If he was to stay down, possibly give Jose a rematch, which I don't think is going to happen. I think any rematch that may happen will be the Regis Prograis rematch. And Regis is a free agent, so it's an easy fight to make.
I thought Regis was with PBC, and that's why he's over there doing that PBC business.
No, he went PBC, he went Triller, and he made it apparent on the show. He said, "I'm a free agent, and I'm the money bag."
But his Triller opponent was a PBC guy.
Yeah.
Is he telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Because how is one of your fights on PBC, then the other fight is not on PBC, but is versus a PBC guy and Ivan Redcatch? I mean,
I wonder if that had something to do, because I heard it was a 2-fight deal. Don't quote me on that. We had Ray Flores on there, and we definitely, after he had his first one on there, he's on the show. He said definitely we'll have him back, and so did Brittany Goosen.
2 PBC people.
Exactly.
Sounds like he's PBC to me.
I'm about to text him and say, "You said so, man."
No, not that I said so. Like, all right, so it's
I'm messing with you, man. I mean, he said he's a free agent and he's a money bag.
It's like Mikey, right? Like Mikey. Oh,
Garcia.
I got one. Yeah, I got a 1-fight deal.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Also, put Mikey Garcia in that equation at 140 because he is moving down.
Is he?
That's what I've been hearing.
He looks as big as one of his phantoms.
Yeah, but you know what? He's in good shape, man. I mean, serious. I mean, he's in tremendous shape, honestly. When I left his camp, he looked good.
When did you leave?
During the Ramirez camp.
Okay, that's not only about a month ago.
Yeah, and then I saw him in Vegas.
I gotta really take up Robert. Robert probably is gonna get offended. I've been doing this for 12 years, asking him to come to his gym for 12 years. He's been saying yes for 12 years. I've never been to his gym.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
You never know who's going to be in there, and it's always an event. And Robert's a straight shooter, man.
Yeah, but like Virgil trains sometimes in Sweat in Texas, so that's a maybe. As to, you know, I guess it depends on if he's in a fight. Ramirez just came out of a fight, so he's not going to be there. Mikey, he hasn't fought in 2 years since fucking Vargas in Texas, so. I mean, is he gonna?
He was kind of like on ice. He was waiting to kind of hopefully get that Manny Pacquiao bid. It didn't happen, and now we're gonna see what happens.
Him, Crawford, and every other welterweight in the world. I mean, you know, listen, make your own lane. See, that's why Errol got the fight, because he wasn't waiting for the fight. He was making his own lane. He had the fight with Mikey. Pacquiao came in the ring. He didn't want the smoke. Cool. Earl kept doing pay-per-view, showing Pacquiao, I don't need you.
Well, I just got a hunch because I was texted by someone to kind of ask this questionnaire. Don't be surprised if you see Regis Prograis and Mikey at a catchweight.
Great fight.
144, 143 possibly.
Great fight. Great fight.
Yeah, great matchup.
I would love to see that fight. I mean, it shocks me because for me, it's Mikey giving Regis the opportunity. So, you know, I don't know that it makes sense. I guess they're going to pay him for it. You know, I mean, Regis is.
Where does Mikey go from here? All the champions are occupied right now.
I mean, I just got out of Thurman's camp today. Look for those I posted one on my channel, but the rest will be on fighthype.com on their YouTube channel. And Thurman doesn't have a contract. Thurman hasn't been offered anything, and Thurman's in fantastic shape right now. You know,
what did you think of his outing, his last outing against Josecito Lopez?
Well, wasn't his last against Pacquiao?
Well, yeah, I mean, leading up to that, yes.
I mean, Lopez, I think the Lopez Thurman fight is overrated and over assessed. It was one round.
There was a transition.
It was one round, no transition.
A transition from nearly being knocked out to a transition to getting your feet back and now fighting one of the greatest wonders of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
I mean, I don't know that Thurman was almost knocked out by Josecito Lopez.
He was one punch away. In my view, I didn't say I didn't say he lost the fight.
No, I know. I just almost one punch away is hard to say, man. I mean, especially in retrospect, he went down to Pacquiao and get knocked out versus him. I don't know.
Pacquiao's gonna bring out the best in the man.
Hopefully. I mean, he did in that one. He did in that day, man. That's for sure, because that's not the best of Thurman. I thought that Thurman would be a little bit better. Okay, so they just well, if I had just put one of the Thurmans I did today.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go. The ball's always rolling. The ball's always working.
Yeah, man.
Listen, man. Besides what's going on in the 140-pound division, 147-pound division, before I let you go, man, what's the most exciting division in your opinion?
Exciting. Well, for me, heavyweights. I love heavyweights. I love heavyweights, bro. They, you know, you rarely get decisions unless they're too skilled and they don't want to be knocked out. But like heavyweights usually want to bang and make a statement, and you can count on them. It's the casual division for a reason, but heavyweights, welterweights, 54, 68, those are the sexy divisions, and 35.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So what's next for Andy Ruiz?
Oh man, I mean, you know, he just came out on PBC saying that he wants to get back in the ring. I mean, he did a pay-per-view. What were the numbers rumored to be? Like, I don't know. Do you remember? But
Well, no, because going in, the rumor was it shouldn't have even been pay-per-view.
I mean, I never thought that. I know your smile is slightly disappearing. I thought that Andy earned his right.
Absolutely.
And that Heyman was intelligent to test the market and see where Andy was. And I know that maybe Michael Coppinger reported that it did about 150, which was the rumor. So if that's the rumor, and we take that as truth, I don't think that that's bad either. You know, I mean, what did they pay Andy for that? $1 million guarantee? Like, what was it on paper? And then, you know, you do 150, you know, 150,000 pay-per-view buys times the 80 gives you 12 million. Half of that goes to the networks. Still working with a good $6 million to pay your main event and undercard. Areola fought Deontay Wilder and made $150,000. So $6 million to pay Andy, who's the only superstar on the card. I mean, who else was on the card? Jesus Ramos, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Ramos fought Abel Ramos or something like that. I mean, like, please.
Chris Ariela's stock even went up too. So he is going to fight again. People are going to want to see him fight again. He put up a good account of himself.
I agree that their stocks went up. I'm just saying that even if it did 150,000 and people thought that wasn't a success financially, they covered themselves. It was so I can see. I'm just saying all that long-winded sentence to say that I can see Andy coming right back on pay-per-view. I agree with you. If Tank did 220 and they're bringing him back with a lesser known Mexican, because obviously to every hardcore, we know Leo, he's achieved more. So, I mean, obviously to the networks and to Mayweather Promotions, 220 was a success, so much so that they're saying, let's put him back on pay-per-view with a lesser known person, you know? So they know what they're doing, I guess.
They're making it happen. You know what? I definitely got to have you back on here because, you know, when I have guests and we go along with that. But I can sit here and talk to you 2 more hours about boxing, my man.
Oh, man, me too, brother. Me too.
I mean,
get me back on. We got to get you on my panel. Like I told you, man, we got to introduce you to my audience.
Definitely.
You know, and the thing is, I'm on Eastern time, so I'm usually live at your 4 o'clock.
We'll make it happen in the summer. Definitely make it happen in the summer. Sure. This is the last week of school, and then we got summer school, and then then we'll take it from there. Make it happen in the summer. But you know, I definitely appreciate having you on, and my lights were going on when I'm talking to you because I can just dive in and feel so comfortable with you talking about the sweet science, man. And I know you got a lot to tell, and I want to give you a couple of alley-oops too, man. But I also want to have you fight out of the corner as well on some things, because if we agreed on everything, then it would suck. So I like the fact that you know where you're coming from, and you know what you're talking about. And we have different views and different IQs, my man, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So where can we follow you? How can we support you? And what can we look for next on your show?
I mean, next, we're a daily podcast. We do a 9 a.m. show Eastern, which is 6 a.m. West Coast, 7 a.m. Central, right? 8 a.m. Excuse me, Central. And you can follow me on all forms of social media at the Boxing Voice. Look at Mac Truck in the comments. Yeah, so you can follow me at all forms of social media on
Shout out to Mac Truck, man. Great guest, great young man, young, hungry, and I want to be part of his journey. I want to follow his journey and his career and see how he progresses.
Yeah, that's gonna be the next heavyweight champ of the world, man. He's
You heard it first here on the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters.
yeah, man. Listen, I can see him shaking up the world the way that Andy did, people will sleep on him until they're sleeping themselves.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right, my man.
But
Well, I want to make sure people don't sleep on your show, The Boxing Voice. Catch it daily. How do we follow you on Instagram? How do we follow you on Twitter? What's your handle?
Instagram and Twitter at the Boxing Voice. You can follow me on my personal as well at NestGTO. And yeah, man, the Boxing Voice right here on youtube.com/the Boxing Voice. Like I said, this weekend we just gained another 8,500.
Congratulations, man.
So we're reaching we're about 50 people away right now from actually 129,000. So excuse me, 27,000, 127,000. So we need about it says we need about 70 people more to get to 127,000. So we're just grinding, man. We got this distribution deal with Fight Hype, and we're looking to get more eyeballs on the sport. And just keep doing our thing. I came out of Thurman's today, and I mean, I feel like the boxing community is going to be very happy with the work that I've done. And I say the boxing community because, again, that's what Fight Hype is, man. They're so big that it gets the word out. You know what I mean? So we'll see what the people got to say about Keith one time, man. He's talking real slick, and I love it.
Well, there you go. You heard it from Nestor himself. Make sure to follow the Boxing Voice and appreciate all the followers and YouTube subscribers on the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. That's www.youtube.com/the Fighter's Voice. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap with our guest, Mr. Nestor Gibbs, aka the Boxing Voice. And as always, thumbs up for Richie.
For sure, man. Don't forget.
Don't miss out. Now you can listen to the Fighter's Voice podcast radio show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio. New show, new topics, new look, bringing you the latest news. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. For the hottest and latest in sports and entertainment, exclusive interviews with the biggest names in the sport of boxing and MMA.
I'm Robert Garcia. I'm Jose Ramirez. Hey guys, this is Mikey Garcia, and I'm here with
The Fighter's Voice.
Yes, sir. Take care, man.